Bienvenidos a otro episodio de Ya es Hora. Les saluda Cristina Ortega. El día de hoy tenemos una invitada. Ella es ZenJenn, the Reiki Bestie. Thank you so much for coming, Jen. I appreciate you for taking the time. Now, let us know, what do you do?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Baruta. I am, again, the ZenJenn, the Reiki Bestie. I do all things magical, from tarot to astrology to sound healing to just being your bestie at just allowing things to just flow.
Right.
I focus a lot on Reiki energy. I also do a lot of sound healings, and I use astrology to help me work with people with, on behalf of that as well. I honestly, like I said, I'm always open to different things that are a little bit woo-woo. And yeah.
And how did you get started?
I actually took it more serious once I was in the waiting of my son getting diagnosed. I have 2 kiddos that are on the spectrum, and I used astrology, Reiki, and sound to help me navigate those realms. I actually started offering this to people around 2019. It was just kind of like, hey, let me see your birth chart, or do you know what time you were born, or do you believe in tarot? Do you think there's something else other than just what we're used to on the day-to-day? And then once the pandemic hit, I started getting a lot of questions like, oh, can you read my cards? Or can you tell me a little bit more about this? Or when is the pandemic going to be over? Or is it real? Is it not real?
Right.
And I don't know if you remember during 2020, I mean, it was heavy for a lot of us.
It was.
And it was also kind of, it opened the door to people with the conspiracy, with the woo-woo stuff. And for me, I was like, wow, like people are now awakening to this, or are more open to it than before.
Right.
And then after that, I was just like, okay, I think I'm ready to do bigger group settings. I'm ready to learn a little bit more. And again, offer it to people who are open to receiving it, but also allowing people who haven't experienced anything like this to come through as well.
Do you feel like this has been like a gift to you?
I think so. I always wanted to help people. When I look back at what I was studying for, because I went to Phoenix College, I'm like, I don't think that version of myself would be like, oh my God, you're going to sit down and meditate for fun now.
Right.
But I do think so, because it has helped me in so many different ways. It has helped my family. I've helped so many people in not just my community, but like community all around the valley. And yeah, I'm like.
And how has it been? I know you mentioned that it was kind of taken more seriously to help your family. Have you seen, like, what have been the changes or results of you kind of focusing that on your children?
Like I was saying, I have 3 boys, but 2 of them are on the spectrum. And if you are an autism mom, or even just a mom in general, you know how...
And I am.
Yeah. The pressure that we carry, you have to be a mom, you have to take care of yourself, you have to take care of everything and still be able to continue to push forward. Right. And it all starts with me. How am I handling the pressure? How am I coming back and regulating my nervous system so then I can be that strong foundation for my kids too? With the therapies of, doing sound healing, Reiki, using astrology, I've noticed a shift in my kids, where now when they're having, when they're a little bit dysregulated, when they're going through their emotions, I'm able to support them in the way that they need it. For example, if one of my kids, he has a lot of Pisces placements. So for him, it's more of like the creative visuals, but he also gets lost in the world, like the otherly realms where he's just in his own world. And I have to be like, oh, no, come on, let's come back. Let's have some structure so that we can thrive as well. And then with my other boy, they're the complete opposite. The other one, I have to make sure that I'm very active with him. He's so active, like, again, the complete opposite. So I'm like, okay, like, where can I use this in my chart so then I can also help him with his placements too. And then when we kind of take a step back, I'm like, oh, okay, He just needed that extra help for whatever it is that we're doing in that moment. Yeah. If that makes sense.
No, it does. It's so interesting that you're sharing that everybody has like those different placements. My son is also a Pisces, so I know he's just very mellow, very like goes with the flow, like a fish. It just goes with the current. And compared to, I have an Aries, she's very fiery, she's spicy. Girl. And they're opposites, but they go well together. So having said that, how do you interpret what is the placements and like the birth chart?
So, I mean, it goes far beyond your sun sign. Your sun, yes, it's important, but it's like, you want to look for your rising sign, which is how people, like what
perceive you.
Yeah, how they perceive you. It's also how you can style yourself or how you can take on the world. Those are your experiences too. Mm-hmm. And then we have our moon sign, which is all about the emotion, how we connect to people, how we find ourselves at peace, if that makes sense. I would say those are your most important ones. But most importantly, I would first look at your moon sign. That way I can understand your inner world. And then your ascendant to be like, oh, okay, your moon is this, and this is how the world is perceiving you, but also on how you're taking things on, or like kind of your little guide to have in your toolbox to when, again, life gets hard or you're going through the motions of it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't take into consideration, especially because it's not something everybody practices or is even aware. I think we're just introduced to our sun, which is, common like in newspapers that que ven los horóscopos, todo eso. But it is a lot deeper than that. And once you start digging into it, you start understanding the person in a whole different like aspect.
Yeah.
So for you, how does that, how do you incorporate that, not just in your family, but like in the outside world?
In the outside world, I always use it kind of like a calendar. And again, I go based off the moon, not just because I'm a Cancer sun, but also because it's always shifting. So we have 12 houses, right, in our birth chart. The moon goes all around. So when it's in your first house and say you have a platform, you want to put your face out there. You want people to see you. You want to do something physical too for your physical body. Second house, you want to do a little bit of self-care, make some food for yourself. And then how I use it, it's again, going back to that, doing the things that I grew up kind of doing, because it does correspond with the family that you came from too. So I'll take a look at my finances. I will get things in the works when it comes to, again, myself healing as well. As we move throughout our chart, say like once we get to the 8th house, which is our darkest house, the occult house.
Scary.
Right? It's not even that scary.
I think it's just intimidating.
Yeah. It's like, you'll feel those heavy emotions that you don't let other people feel, but also it's, things that you have with other people. So it could, some people look at it as like, this is the house of marriage because it is yours and other people's finances or contracts, but also it could be, the sexy house too, or taxes that you have to pay, or even just, again, going back to those deep wounds that you carry within yourself and how you work with them and make them work for you rather than against you.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so interesting, just in general with astrology, if you're into like tarot readings, Reiki, sound healing, it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
And like I said, when people aren't aware that this is a resource, really, they don't understand why they're feeling something, or why, they can be intuitive, or why they go, to an empty place and then all of a sudden it's packed, or you walk into a room and you have everybody staring at you, and all of that's connected, right? So what's your perspective when it comes to that?
Like I said, I always want to be like, hey, let's look at our birth chart. Let's see what's going on. But also remembering, embody you first, like ground your energy. Notice what is you. Notice when you go somewhere, how does your body feel? How does your body feel afterwards? Again, helping you learn to understand why things happen to you. I mean, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And it's all about what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to take the next step? Are you going to continue to sit here? Or what can we pull out of it to transmute that into a different perspective or like a different way?
Yeah.
And then I also do feel like now that it's a little bit more popular, I think it's important to teach the younger generations, and then slowly our elders, our old, the people who are like, no, esas cosas son del, no.
Yeah.
They are slowly starting to open up to that. You just have to word it differently sometimes too, because I mean, it's there. It's all about, again, how you perceive it too.
Yeah, and you interpret it.
Yeah.
And at least like what I've seen, because it is something popular, you know, and I think sometimes it has been hard because when you take it seriously or you are very in tuned with your energies and just that knowledge, seeing it being just popularized or being popular with someone that is either giving you misinformation or they're projecting themselves onto you, it gets a little annoying because you're like, but again, it comes from everyone's perspective.
And it also comes from your own discernment. That's why I say like, pay attention to how your body feels, because your body will respond before your brain even says like, okay, there's something wrong here. This is not you. Because again, sometimes we do take on other people's energy and we're just like, I don't know why I feel so depressed, or I feel so angry. I feel so heavy. And sometimes again, it's like, cause you're absorbing all of that and you're just like, can't even make a conscious decision of like, okay, this is me. This is not me. You're left in that other realms.
Yeah. And I feel like, especially when like you go out, I don't know if it happens to you, but let's say you go to a concert or you go just to even a family party and you like, I've taken days to feel like myself again because you take it with you, and, what I find so interesting, and it is a conversation that I feel like like people in the Latino households have, is que hay personas que vienen y se llevan algo, pero no te dejan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So have you ever had that experience where that heaviness and you're just kind of confused, like, where's this coming from?
And it's funny because that's how I used to feel before I even got introduced to any of this, like, energy stuff. Or I would be like, Mom, like, me siento así. And she would go get the egg and la limpia del huevo. It takes all the pains away.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I have felt that way. And I remember once I was like, I'm always excited to show people, be there, like, be like, hey, like, this is how you do this, or you can do this to help you with that. But then afterwards, I'm like, dang, like, I'm giving so much away that I have to remember, like, you have to set those boundaries energetically, mentally, emotionally, physically, on all realms. Porque después it's just that leak and people will take that with you, and it's not an equal energy exchange.
Yeah. I think that's where the energy vampires come in. And it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, how does that happen?
Yeah. And como te digo, I'm like, it all goes back to that discernment. Like, pay attention to the little things. And even once you start to feel that your body tenses up when someone comes into the room, it's like, okay, like, your body's tensing up for a reason. Like, let's be like, okay, I'm protecting my own energy. Even if you're just saying it mentally, the moment that you set that intention for it, it will slowly start working for you. You just have to keep doing that practice. And it's like, también te puedes poner a rezar. Like, be like, okay, like, I am fully protected. You can say your prayers in whatever way they come to you. And just let it be.
No, and it's true because, again, we go back to where it's how you perceive it, how you take what resonates with you, and then you can create your own way of navigating what is your energetic flow. I know that you also work your chakras.
Yes.
So can we talk about that and how either you apply it to your life, how you do like help other people?
Yeah. So we have, the 7 chakras or 7 main points. Each one corresponds with a certain circumstances in your life. For example, we have our root, which is our survival, also where we feel very grounded and safe and secure, which is often in the Latino community, the one that's a little bit more heavy to work with, because we carry so much there where it's not just yours, it's generational. It's things that, depending where you come from, a veces llega tu familia con miedo, and it just stays, that fear will stay through you, through your children, until you're just like, hey, like everything is okay though. Like I'm okay. And then you slowly start to work with that. And then we have our sacral, which is our more feminine, divine energy. But sometimes it gets blocked when we're with the wrong partners, or when, SA happens, or even just you're not fully paying attention to yourself, your emotions. You're not dealing with those things, which ties back to sometimes we're just told to just stay small and just be quiet, go sit in the corner, like you don't know yet. And then as life kind of comes through, you'll notice those patterns with relationships, and you'll notice that you're not so creative, or that you're not very, ¿cómo se dice? Like nurturing, not just to yourself, but to other people as well.
Yeah.
And then we have that solar plexus, which is where our confidence comes in through our willpower. It's also where our childhood traumas, insecurities are stored. It's also where our prosperity is too. Once you start to slowly transmute the energy that happens to you during your childhood, it can either help you, prosper life, or use that to be your drive to do better, to be better.
Right.
Or you can just kind of sit with that and just let it overcome you, and just kind of navigate it in that realm too. We have our heart space, which is where we accept and where resentment kind of comes from. And sometimes that resentment could be, again, carried on through people, through generations, where it's like, I should be doing this, but I'm not. I'm doing this, but I can't, And then again, going back up to the throat chakra, which is our truth. Sometimes it gets blocked because we want to say our truth, especially when we start exploring different realms or different things, different perspectives of life. Not everyone agrees with you because that's not the way we were taught, or that's something that was never talked about growing up, or even with our families too. Because sometimes it starts there with our families, and then we slowly start to expand. And then we have our throat, our third eye, which is where that intuitive, otherly realms are. Some people are born, we all have it open, right? It just depends on if we have it blocked, where maybe you're addicted to certain things, whether it's, drugs, or just addicted to thinking in that negative perspective, like life is always happening to me. It's always happening to me, that or this. And you're not seeing beyond that. And then our crown, where our faith lies in. And that could be faith, again, in whatever it is for you, or it can just be faith within yourself, like trusting that you are always guided. You're always meant to be in the right places at the right time with the right people.
Right.
And the way that I use it, again, once I start to feel like little tingly sensation here, or like I'm having stomach issues, I'm like, okay,
You're like, what's wrong?
I'm like, what's going on with my body? And I'll kind of come back and I'm like, okay, like I'm not digesting this emotion, or I'm not digesting this problem or thing.
Pepto isn't working for me. No, it's not that.
I'm like, I need help. Which again, that's where the community comes in. I have a lot of other practitioners that I work with hand on hand, and I'll be like, hey girl, I don't know what's going on. Like I try to do all the woo-woo stuff on me. Like I need you. I'm like, can you help me? Or, are you available to do this? And they'll come in and they'll be like, hey, like, it's okay. It's okay to ask for help, even as a practitioner, because again, we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, and it's okay Like, it's okay to experience it. It's just about how you're going to deal with it and where you're going to take it. And again, are you going to sit in that funk, or are you going to help transmute it and become better?
Yeah. And how do you feel? Because I love how you just shared like the chakras, but talking about like that generational and just how do you, not just apply it, but how would you interpret that in the Latino family, like household?
That's tricky.
You're like, it's deep.
I'm like, yeah, it's deep because again, some people are super open to it and some people are not open to it. Y a veces, even with my own parents, like my dad would be like, tengo la presión alta, or my heart, he has heart problems. And I'll be like, Dad, like sometimes we got to forgive, we got to forget. And even if it's just like within ourselves. So I'll be like, Appa, just breathe. You're okay. Let it go. I'm like, just be grateful with what you have right now and who you are right now and how far you've came. Same thing with my mom. Like I tell her, Ama, a veces we have to kind of come back to that gratitude, and that's what it is. Like life is happening for you, and sometimes it gets hard, and that's okay. Sometimes it's to guide us back to ourselves. Y a veces they're like, girl.
Yeah, no, and
I'm like,
true.
It's that easy. I don't have to be like, it's because your heart chakra is blocked because that happened to you, and you don't want to address it.
Let me get it. Yeah, no. I understand that.
But it's that having those little conversations with them where you're like, let me explain this to you.
You're like rewording, like choosing your words carefully.
And speaking to them softly because, again, they're all learning for the first time. And again, everyone's family is different. Everyone's circumstances are different. A veces, they're not open to it. And they're just like, nope. And they're just continue to be in that mindset of like,
talking to a wall.
Así, que el otro. And then you leave and you're upset because they're not changing their mind. And it's like, it's okay. If that's where they want to be, that's okay. A veces we can't change the world, but you can change you. And then once you start to change, you start to make those little impacts in other people. A veces, slowly but surely, our families are always watching. They slowly start to
light
do
up their
little things.
candle.
Yeah, poco a poquito. And yeah.
No, and it's true. Because, Latinos, I want to say the majority are Catholic, no? Yeah, Catholic grown. And even within that, there's a lot of things that happen within the Catholic religion that are connected to like astrology, your chakras, all of that. Because, honestly, you meet, once a week, everybody.
It's a ritual.
Yes.
And it is a ritual.
Yes.
And I actually had done a sound bath at a church before. And it was, I had never done one at a church with people who are religious. And I was like, oh my God. I was telling my husband, I was like, I'm so nervous. I don't even want to go. But then I was like, you know what? It's okay.
It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity for me to just kind of come in, word things differently, and just remind them that it just is. If you don't like it, that's okay. It's still going to tweak something inside of you, but it just is. Mm-hmm. They were doing a workshop for, creo que era sanando tu niño interior. And then I came in, they had already done like a couple of things. And then I came in, I sat up, we did a little bit of breath work. I grounded them with a quick little meditation. Then I started playing my bowls. In the middle of me playing the bowls, the priest came in. I didn't even know. I was like, I thought it was just, someone coming into the workshop. And I was like, yeah, like sit down right here. Like, take a seat. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk to him like that, but okay. But he was just dressed like, casually. So I was like, okay, like, come on in, sit down. And he's like, no, it's okay. I'm like, no, like come in and sit down. Like you're here for a reason.
You're in my workspace.
So then he sat down and I can just like see him tune in like quickly. And I was like, okay, like this guy. Okay. So then at the end, usually whenever I finish my sound baths, I ask people like, like if you experienced something, if you saw something, speak up, because that way you don't go home thinking like, oh my God, that was so crazy. Just to remember that other people have similar experiences. Everyone was sharing. It was so beautiful. It was, I don't know. I was like, to me, it was very beautiful because it was a group full of Latinos, people who are heavily into church too. And they were open to the sound bath, which I was like, wow.
And to work something really serious.
And then one of the ladies, she was like, well, this is new age. This is not good. Like, I don't believe in any of that. And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, like, I'm so, you know, in my head, I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to disrespect you and whatever, you know, that's your experience. Those are your opinions and that's okay. But I'm not going to disrespect you or tell you, actually, you do this at church too, but okay. So she was explaining all of that. And then the pastor or the priest, he was like, oh, okay, well, let me tell you my experience. And let me tell you how this is also what we do at church. So he started to explain it. He's like, I guess at that particular church, they do play a little bit of frequency. He says that even when we're singing mantras, we're praying, we're doing mantra, you're counting the rosary, you're doing something to help you reach that
conscious.
That conscious, where you're talking to God or you're telling God, can you do this favor for me? You're giving those petitions. Like, es lo mismo. It's just in different ways of how to do it. He's like, and it's okay. He's like, for me, I sat down and I was listening to it. He's like, y es como cuando me pongo a rezar yo. Like, when he goes to, I forgot what the terms are. And I was just like, in my head, I was just like, holy, like, what just happened right now? And I was like, okay, it was an experience. And then everyone started to share. There was also this elder lady. She said, she was like 80 something. She's like, I have never experienced such a deep, profound peace. She was like, I spoke to my mom, you know, she passed when I was really young. And I was like in my head, like, to me, I was just like, wow, like, this is beautiful. I love that everyone was sharing that. Even the pastor came and I was like, I'm so sorry, sir. I did not mean to just be like, come and sit down right here. But to me, it also reminded me of like, oh, like, what you're doing is doing something for these people. Like we're holding space. Yeah. And it was super beautiful. And ever since I was like, okay.
On to the next. No. And it's so cool that you shared that one person had that negative experience. But like the way I see it is that was a trigger by the sound.
Oh yeah. I'm like, and I can see it in her aura. And I was like, you know what? Porque a veces I go to sound baths or even meeting people and I get, you know, these downloads or these presentimientos.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, ¿te digo algo? No, I'm not going to say nothing. Unless they bring it up, then cool. Yes. If not, but I can just see it. Like, at the moment she was like, no, I don't believe in any of that. And I was like, oh, like, oops. I'm like, oops, but it was okay. I was like, you know, like, if that's how you feel, that's okay. You're not ready for it. And that's fine. It will come to you in the way that it needs to come to you.
Yes. So. And that's really what a sound bath is. It's like trying to get your body to release
and relax.
So yeah, she wasn't ready to relax.
Yeah.
But talking about that and kind of sticking with that subject is how would you connect that to like the taboos? Because I feel like if you're not open, right, that openness to receive, which shockingly, el padre pues no tuvo tanto problema con eso.
Yeah.
But how would you connect the two? Like, do you feel in that experience that it was just more of like the taboo? Maybe she didn't believe, or maybe she didn't have that.
She was more in she was like, this is new age spiritual stuff. Like, this is woo woo. And I was like, actually, it's just frequency. It's just music. Like, I'm not even telling you anything. I'm not telling you, pay attention to your chakras. Like, no, I'm just like, breathe in, relax your toes, relax your tummy, you know, relax your head. Like, just be here. Just pay attention to the breath. And she was like, no, esas cosas son de, she was like, son del diablo. And she just like walked out. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to, but I'm like, it's okay. Like, at the same time, I was coming back to, hey, we did something here and it's okay.
Yeah, no. And do you feel like you get that, or do you ever get people that want to try it, but their body is just resisting your help?
I do. And normally when that happens, I'm like, it's okay. Like, it's okay if you feel like you can't sit still. That's because your body's not used to it. Like, it's a practice. It's not, you're going to go to your first sound bath and it's going to be such an ethereal.
A rebirth.
Yeah, like, no, you're going to go to your first sound bath and it's going to shake something up. And if you can't stay still, that's okay. As long as you're sitting here, we're listening to the frequencies, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's just you telling your brain, like, it's okay to relax. It's okay to feel safe. We don't have to be in that, like, I have to be doing something, that flight or fight mode, which is, again, going back to the chakras, where we struggle a lot to get grounded, to be here present, to just be with the breath.
Yes.
And that's very important. I mean, it's the first thing you do when you come to Earth, and it's the last thing you do before you leave.
Yep. It's that first breath and last breath. And it's, again, it's something that is not practiced enough, at least not in this way, because like we mentioned, in la cultura latina, pues todos crecemos con una creencia.
Sí.
It doesn't matter which one, pero es una creencia. Y cuando vas creciendo, las experiencias que llevas, it shifts your perspective when it comes to that. Yeah. And I feel that's why now it's getting popular.
Yeah.
It's because people are questioning outside of what they grew up in.
Yeah. And I mean, I grew up Catholic too. Hice mi primera comunión, mi confirmación. You know, I was like, I'm going to get married through church. And now I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. You know, there's different ways to think, and I don't have to just be in a box, and I can just experience life. And if I need to connect with God, I can always come back to self, because that's where you meet. And I mean, if you see it differently, that's okay too.
Yes.
You know, when you're ready, it will come in whatever way you feel like it. Because, I mean, like I said, I work alongside other practitioners, and they all have different beliefs, you know. Some of them are very Catholic, and they do practice some of this energy work in a different perspective too. And I'm like, that's cool. I love that for you. And again, the people that will need your help specifically will come to you. And the moment you start to do that work, you notice the patterns with your family and your mom, because it all comes from your womb, you know? It's like, okay, haces algo. It's changing the way your mom is looking at you, but it's having her question something else, like, And then slowly, generation and generation, and people around you too.
Yeah. And I think that's also, you know, especially when it comes to, I feel like, our women, ¿no? En las familias, que siempre decimos, oh, es que tu abuela era así. Oh, es que tu abuela también pensaba así. O tu bisabuela. Or it's always that ancestral, you know? And it's pretty cool. And I find it interesting that a lot of the new generation, especially I feel like millennials, we are connecting to this realm, or, you know, whatever we're learning, connecting it back to like what, you know, our grandmothers lived through, what our mothers lived through. And it's so cool to see, because you're working that, you know?
Yeah. And it works. Even if your mom doesn't change, even if your grandma doesn't change. I mean, they're doing these practices in different ways in the closet, you know? Te estaban prendiendo una veladora. They were praying over you. You know, they were doing, I don't know si has sido con una sobadora.
Sí, que te soben. That's very popular.
And you're just like, oh my God, I feel so good. And like maybe the next day you feel sore. She was shaking up some energy that was stuck here, that was there because X, Y, and Z, you know?
Yes.
And it's all interconnected, and it goes back to the generations. And that's when it also circles back to speaking to our families. That is the same thing. It's just in a different way of doing it. Yes. If that makes sense.
No, and it does. Because I agree. I think, you know, cuando enciendes una vela, incluso cuando vas a la iglesia, que tienes una petición, que por ejemplo en México es muy común las
mandas.
Las mandas. Cada año a mí me gusta ver lo que hacen como en la Ciudad de México, donde, o sea, hincados, you know, duran días para llegar a la iglesia para pagar una manda. Eso también es parte de esto.
Sí.
I mean, I'll say like curanderas también, pero al igual es la intención de las personas.
Sí.
Y eso tiene mucho que ver en, a lo mejor no la creencia, porque a lo mejor tú no entiendes a ese nivel, pero porque te lo inculcaron de alguna manera.
Sí.
You know?
Y también es regresando a la fe de uno mismo, porque I mean, cuando empiezas a tener fe, te empiezas a alivianar.
Sí, no
te
es
pones
cierto.
las pilas and you're like, okay, like I have faith that this is going to work out for me.
Yeah.
Because it has to work out for me. No es que te aferres a que las cosas trabajen de esa manera, pero te aferras a que lo vas a lograr. En cualquier manera lo vas a lograr.
Yeah. Y es donde te desbloqueas. Yeah.
It's like, you
Yeah,
popped your
and
heart
going
chakra
back,
open.
everything's connected. So now I want to get into more of like the tarot side.
Yeah.
How do you work with tarot, and what is something you can clear up in the room and just be like, you guys have it wrong?
I would say, I mean, you're not going to get possessed. You're not going to, anyone can read tarot. I mean, we can sit here and be like, okay, this is how we're going to read tarot. It comes with a little guidebook if you need it. The way I do it, I just do it based off my intuition. So I use it as a tool to reassure what I'm picking up is. And then, but again, one thing that it's free will. Te puedo tirar las cartas y decirte, like, you're going to do this, X, Y, and Z.
Vas a ganarte la lotería.
Y luego puede ser que te ganaste un scratcher. You know, it doesn't have to be so big, but you won money that you didn't have before. Or sometimes, again, I'm like, if you go here to this place, you're going to meet that person. The day of, you choose not to go. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. You have free will. Just because te las tiro y te digo que eso te va a pasar, no quiere decir que te va a pasar luego. Te puede pasar años, you know, like ahead. Or you probably experienced that already. And you're just like working with that. Oh my God, I can't believe that happened to me. That happened to me. That happened to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, the way I work with tarot, I use it as a tool to, once again, like reassure with what I'm picking up is what is, if that makes sense.
Right. No, it does. And I think you do have to go with someone, if you ever decide to, that can actually, one, vibe with you.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the energy from the reading, but it's the energy of the person.
Yes.
Because I don't think a lot of people know that when you go to someone to do any type of work, they keep your energy.
Yeah.
They'll keep what you no longer need. And it's, you know, you have to go to someone that will understand where you're coming from, you know,
rather than kind of using it against you.
Yes.
For example, like I do your cards and then 2 months from now, you're like, remember you told me this in a reading? I'm like, girl, what? Like, as soon as you're done with that reading, you have to close it out or else it's going to drain your energy. But also, like, ¿cómo se dice? It's important not to go to like 50 million readers too, because then their energy different. Will get stuck and be like, damn, girl, like I can't read your energy because you're in 5 different places. Like, first, cleanse yourself, and then we can kind of move forward from there.
Don't be a hopper.
Yeah.
No, and it's true. And you know, from personal experience, the moment I sat in her chair, she was like, you're going to take what resonates with you.
Yeah.
You're going to interpret, I'll give you some guidance, but you're going to interpret what you see and how it applies to your life. And I remember the one card that just stood out was the Justice card. And it's been spot on every time.
Yeah.
And I always say, you know, you can go to anybody.
Yeah.
And you can have the best intentions, but if internally you are not ready or you have that heavy energy that, like you said, everything happens to me, the world's against me, it's not going to take you anywhere.
Yeah.
You're going to fixate on whatever is said, and that's it. You're not going to sleep. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen to me. And it's not that way.
Yeah.
At least the way I see it is more of a guidance. It's not, you're going to tell me, hey, in 5 years, you're going to go to, I don't know, the corner and you're going to get hit by a bus. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you can talk about like certain precautions you might want to take with people, but it's more of today.
Yeah. Like, again, you have that free will.
Yes.
Now you have the awareness. It's like, ¿qué vas a hacer con eso? Ya te dije lo que puede pasar. ¿Cómo lo vas a hacer?
Yes. ¿Cómo vas a? Ajá. Y creo que ahí es donde la gente como que le da miedo y se agarra de que, oh, this is like, you know.
Woo-woo stuff.
Yes, woo-woo stuff. And it comes internally.
Yeah.
And es donde lo que es la astrología, el Reiki, los chakras, las cartas, todo está conectado porque todo se basa en la energía tuya.
Sí.
Y para eso va uno como contigo, porque you need the guidance.
Yeah.
I don't need you to tell me, hey, what's wrong with me? Yeah. I need you to be like, hey, this is what I feel. Let's work through it.
Yeah. And then again, like, we can talk about like, what can you do to, you know, to work on that? I'm not going to be like, ven a hacer el Reiki y te va a quitar todos los problemas del mundo.
Sí.
No, it's going to help you feel better so that you have that clear head to be willing to make those new decisions that are going to help you be where you need to be.
Exactly. And how would you help someone just listen to their intuitive thoughts, or just be more intuitive or more in tune with themselves?
I would say go to the breath. The moment that you start to inhale and exhale consciously, paying attention, you slowly start to be like, oh, I can hear my own thoughts. I can hear my own voice. Mm-hmm. I can kind of tell myself to stop, you know, thinking about X, Y, and Z. And then slowly be like, okay, I have a question for this. Yeah. Ask your body. Your body will slowly tell you, like, if it feels tight, no. You feel relaxed, you kind of get the little chills, like, okay, that's a yes, you know? And then slowly increase to, you want to get some tarot cards, go ahead. You want to get the crystals, you want to sit under the full moon, you know, plant new things under the new moon, little things like that. Yeah. You know, slowly start to increase it. And it's like muscle memory. The more that you do it, the more that you live in that, the easier it's going to come, the easier the flow is going to be.
Yeah. And I agree with that, because I know, you know, like, crystal shops are very popular. We have Sedona, which is one of the best energetic.
Yeah, the vortex.
Yes. And again, I think because it's becoming very popular, very like pushed out there, we have to remember that it is sacred. Yeah. It is something that you need to study on. You need to be cautious with.
Especially with the practices. Yes. Because sometimes people be like, I'm going to do, you know, X, Y, and Z. Te voy a hacer brujería. Girl, that you probably don't even know what you're doing. You probably hexed yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you open things to, you know, things that are not...
that you're not ready for.
You're not ready for. Yeah.
So what would be that one thing that you would tell someone, like, hey, this is what I recommend you do to protect your energy, and maybe start their journey with, you know, their healing?
Again, going back to the breath, most importantly, but also washing your feet with some Epsom salt. I know it sounds so funny, but that's also where chakras are, you know, just cleansing your energy. The Epsom salt, the salt, the sea salt will help pull it out of you. And then with washing it, you know, you're washing whatever needs to release. It's like when you take a shower, you feel so much better sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. So I'll give you this time to share your handles and just anywhere que nuestros seguidores te puedan conectarse contigo, al igual que puedan conocer más de estos temas.
Okay, so my TikTok is the Reiki Bestie, and then my Instagram handle is ZenJenn B with 2 N's and a B at the end. Or you can always go to my website at www.zenjennb.com. And there you can find all the collectives, Reikis that I do, full moons, new moons, or if you're wanting to work one-on-one, or if you want to do group sound baths, whether it's for your company, your family, your school, whatever that may look like, you can always find me there.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It was great meeting you. And I think we are giving them really good information, and I hope they really do reach out to you.
Yeah.
So again, thank you so much for coming, and we hope to see you back.
Thank you so much for having me.